adults died after being shot in an apparent murder-suicide.
Witnesses heard a loud argument, then gunfire.
Officers believe the man shot the woman, then himself.
I don't remember one conversation with my dad. I just remember walking in the classroom wondering who knew.
Less than 24 hours later,
they have not yet found a suicide note.
And at this point, they are still waiting for autopsy results.
Somebody knew. I just wondered who. What I wanted from my father was a relationship.
Police were called around 6:30. Authorities say the suspect then ran into the woods with a firearm.
And tonight, some answers about a possible motive behind this family murder.
Suicide in a lot of ways. It seems to always leave a lot more questions than it ever gives answers.
All right. You have everything?
Yep, I got a couple pairs of pants. I have the ones I have on.
You have several shirts.
A few collared shirts. I'll have to get my socks out of there.
Belongings, running stuff.
I got my running stuff.
You got your toiletry bag?
No, it's in the bathroom. I'll have to get that.
You talked to the Riley Bear about being a little sad, a little emotional with you being gone.
I'll talk to her before I go.
Okay.
I'll talk to her before I go. Are you guys gonna miss me?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No. They're gonna miss you we come home and they're like, we wanna go ride our bikes. We wanna go
And that's when I'm gonna get to FaceTime. Daddy, we miss you.
We miss you.
We miss you, Daddy.
Tomorrow.
Daddy, we wanna go swimming. Well, hey, I'm gonna miss you guys.
No, I'm not.
So what does the week look like?
I think we'll stop in Georgia tonight. We'll be in Louisville until Wednesday. And then I think we're in Bowling Green Thursday.
Wait a minute. You're gonna eat your food?
I am. I'm chatting with Mama real quick. Are you eyeballing my food? Do you want my food or something?
Yes. It was so good.
And then we're in Vine Grove. Vine Grove one of those days, too. So we'll be hitting all the spots that matter. We'll be in Vine Grove the same day that my parents died. So be there on the anniversary day. But that'll be the first time I've been there, like, on the day. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I've never been to the cemetery on, the day it happened. I can only remember, like, 2 things that my dad ever said to me. I can't remember a time when my dad hugged me. See you guys. Love you. So it's those kinds of things that I want my kids to know me. I want them to know what's important to me, what I valued, and I want to pass those things on. And I hope they can see that, and they'll see it more once they can kind of see their lives in the scope of the whole story. That brings us where we are today. When I was 8 years old, my father went to my mother's work, had an argument, pulled out a gun, and shot her in the head. He ran, was found later on in the woods by a hunter from a self-inflicted gunshot to his head. Very few people get the opportunity to, in a week's time, to just really retrace their life. And I hope that in doing this, I'll understand just a little bit more of of really how much the things in my life have really impacted me and made me who I am. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Look at Erwin.
Look at Erwin looking all official.
That's right. Erwin's like, let me make sure everyone can see all my important stuff on the wall for this Zoom call.
Photo finish.
Man, you don't.
Get my hair done too. Can you?
You got your hair did.
Can you hear me?
He got his highlight. Erwin got his little silver highlights going. I want to thank y'all for being a part of this. It's just been interesting to me, just when you think about it, just some basic things that I don't remember. You know, they're really just kind of basic, kind of like what happened.
I remember my dad coming in the room and he told me, whatever happens, make sure you look after your brothers and sisters.
You know, we were kind of horseplaying around. We weren't really in bed like we were supposed to be. And we saw car lights come in the driveway. It's like, oh, we got back in bed because we were supposed to be in bed. We thought it was our dad coming home.
Look, we didn't have a lot of people coming over to our house. And to get a knock on the door, especially that late at night, nobody was home except us. And Margaret went to the door. I think we were all kind of in a line behind her. She was, because of course, the tallest, and we were all just kind of behind her. She opens the door and it's the police.
You know, the officer asked if our father was there. We were like, no, he's not home.
They asked for a piece of clothing for my father, and I was very frightened of my father. So I was just like, basically telling the police, no, I'm not gonna give you his clothes. And they just came in and got the clothes and stuff and everything.
Naturally, get a little scared, just what's going on. When they came into the house, and I know they were back in my dad's room doing something, and I remember them mentioning that y'all are in danger, and so you want to be sleeping here tonight, and you'll be staying with, you know, you need to pack up some things, you'll be staying with a neighbor tonight. I don't even remember who the neighbor was. I don't know how far we went. I don't remember driving. I don't remember walking. All I know is that we woke up the next morning and went to school. We are back in Vine Grove, Kentucky. This is where I grew up. It has been a long time since I've been back here. 111 Cherrywood Drive. That's where I grew up. Those trees were a lot smaller. A lot smaller. You know, I feel like a lot of things in Vine Grove, just coming back here, it's almost as if, you know, time has stood still. It almost just looks the same. The same. The face of this store, it used to just be that store right there. That whole other side where those cinder blocks are didn't exist. So we're here on site. This is actually where the Korean restaurant would have been, where my mom would have been working on that night. And this would have been the door that he would have gone through, and my mom was a cashier, so she would have been up front, and they would have had the exchange of words, and that's where he would have shot her. And he must have, the park is right here, so he would have run this way and up in this direction. Man, I can only imagine just how chaotic that night would have been. You know, that restaurant's so small, for that to happen in there, just the panic, just going on there. He takes off running, he's cutting through the park, and it just continues to leave questions, because you just wonder, you know, he obviously knew he was going to do it, but did he regret it? I don't know. I don't know. I know that for the longest time, you know, I've always wanted to have a family, and I didn't have a family, and you know, and now I'm getting to do all the things I want to do, and I would have wanted to experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's not like the big crazy things, like, you know, the trip to Disney, or, you know, like, it's just the moments of just family security. There's a lot of things that make this whole situation sad. But when I do think about Mom, she's just young.
She's a young woman, a young mother who didn't get to enjoy her children.
Yeah.
For no good reason.
Yeah.
So I just hurt for her so bad. And it's deep for me because that didn't have to happen. And she didn't deserve it. She did not deserve her ending.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom didn't die right away. So either she suffered, or she knew at some level that she was not going to be in our lives anymore. I don't know if she was conscious or not, but she didn't die right away. You know, Dad made a choice. Dad made a choice. Dad prepared his estate. He prepared for us.
Yeah, it was premeditated.
It was intentional. So he made a choice not to be with us too. If he didn't want to be here, fine. But he didn't have to do that to her.
I remember us showing up to Korean church that she was a part of, and I just remember when I pulled the door open, it wasn't a big church, and down the center aisle was my mom's casket, and it was open, and I could see the profile of her face laying in the casket. I guess for an 8-year-old, like, reality kind of set in, like, now I realize what I was really kind of going to. Never been to a funeral before.
But it was just like it wasn't real. You know, I mean, her being there, you know, in a casket, you know, it just didn't seem real.
And she was loved by her friends, and so there were just a lot of weeping. You can hear it. There's a lot of weeping. The one thing that what I wanted from my father was a relationship. He was kind of physically present, but not present. And so I didn't know what I was missing at that age. I wish I could just remember anything that I told him. A lot of memories of us doing things, and I can see a lot of stuff and see a lot of things from my childhood, and we still have pictures, but it's hard for me to recall anything that I ever said to him. You know? I don't know if I ever said it, but, you know, I love him. I still do. I came to know the Milsteads through Erwin. Erwin became good friends with their son. Of course, I spent a lot of time with Erwin, so over time, I spent a lot of time with the Milsteads, and just slowly but surely, in some way, I became engrafted into the family.
It's hard to explain really what happened. It was just a God thing because you just became ours.
Yeah.
You became our family. You were like our kids.
Yeah, and I could tell that it was, you were obviously being intentional.
Yeah.
But it was also very natural.
Yeah. You don't remember. It seems to me like you were always there.
And I showed up one Christmas, and Erwin had a stocking, and I just remember Shirley saying that, you know what, I'm going to make you a stocking. I want to make you a stocking too. I'll make one for your sister.
I guess it made us a little bit more conscious of the life, and we loved you.
Lo and behold, I show up the following year for Christmas, and I have my own stocking. And it's just right up there with all the rest of their kids. I just remember, and to this day, we stand in a circle, we hold hands, we pray. In my mind, this was just how a family looked. This is how, this is how a family was supposed to function, and the hospitality and just the love in the home. In a little way, that was kind of a defining thing because, all those stockings they look the same, they hang on the same level, and it just communicated how they saw me.
You see 3 kids that lost their parents and were living with foster parents. Have you to come in with our family? Yeah, y'all were a blessing to us, Bruce.
Yeah.
Can you crawl out?
Are y'all about to go play? One relationship that really jumps out was a friend of mine named Jeremy. Do you remember the first time we met and you were wearing something that I remind you?
Letterman jacket? Mom and Dad still have that Letterman jacket, and they've asked me if I want that Letterman jacket. I said, no, I don't want that. What do you want me to do with it? I don't care.
Jeremy is one of those friendships where his life was appealing to me. I still remember actually the night where everything kind of came to a head for me. We were at church. I was really kind of coming under conviction. All those things were going on internally, and then that particular Sunday, I felt like I needed to walk forward. I didn't go out. I didn't do the walk, and we got out in a car, that Toyota Celica, and we sat down and we were about to leave, and I don't know if I said something first or you said something first, but I remember me saying that, man, I felt like I needed to do something today. I felt like I was supposed to walk forward. So I felt like I was supposed to do something today. And you were like, man, kind of put it back in gear, and it's like, yep, man, pass your cylinder, man, go handle it. The speaker was just sharing the gospel, talking about, God's design for us, that He made us to have a relationship with him, and that the sin in our lives has wrecked that relationship. It's broken that relationship. But God loved us enough to pursue us, to run after us, and not to leave us in that state. He'll take away the guilt. He'll take away the shame. And you can live with him forever. It struck me to the core.
He said, you know, what do you want God to do? I said, I want him to save me. I want him to save me. And he said, well, ask him. And I don't even know what prayer I prayed or what I said, but I just remember we got in the car, he backed out, we started driving, and I knew that things would be different. I didn't know how, but I knew there was like a resolve inside of me and a confidence that, you know what, things are going to be different from here. If I had my way, who knows where I'd be. He seemed fit to use my life differently. And I'm along for the ride. And it's been a ride.
It's been a ride. It's been a good ride.
It's been a real good ride.
It's easy to put your hope in different things, but a lot of those times, if you're putting your hope in this world, it's going to be a very short-sighted hope. If you're putting your hope in this world, it comes up empty.
You know, when people say, how did y'all do that? How are y'all the way you are? There's only one answer. It's not anything that I did, by any means. I mean, if it was up to me, I probably would be down a completely different, wrong path. So I believe God was looking out for us, big time, and had a plan for us.
We have a greater power. That's how I always leaned on it. That's how I never leaned on nobody else.
Sometimes we think all these bad things happen to you. You're set on a certain course. But that's not the case. The Lord graciously put people in his life at very specific moments, and that started the shift in him.
He's, in his way, fixing things, and he's going to make everything right.
And so when you look at the Bible, you see hardships, tragedies, brokenness, and Bruce's life is a great example of someone whose family is literally not here because of a tragedy, who's had some significant hardships, and yet there's a joy and a hope that has been given him that's outside of himself.
When you look at Bruce's life, you look at his family, you don't just see some kind of return to normalcy, you see complete healing. And he's somebody who has been completely healed, and moving forward in his life, he has grace and peace and compassion for others and a strong commitment to lead well. And that represents the grace of God in his life, and only the grace of God could bring that kind of healing to someone like Bruce.
It just made me see that even, it doesn't matter what's going on in my life, that God can use everything. He will use everything. And that in my life, he didn't waste any of it. Ultimately, he used it all to lead me to him. And I can recognize that is the greatest good. And that whatever he would need to do so that I could see him, it would be worth it. My daughter, Riley Sine Roberts. My son's name is Roman Thaddeus Roberts. When I see him again, I'll say to them what I say to him every day. I love you. I hope they will always know that. But ultimately, I hope that through that, they would know that God loves them. Much, much more than their dad.
wasn't just a normal night in a town called Bethlehem. Leaving heaven's throne, he came to earth, bringing hope and peace for man. It was a holy night, it was a silent night, hope came. Though it doesn't go the way we planned or the way we think it should, and it doesn't seem to fall in place, but he's working for our good. Even in silent times, even in darkest nights, hope came. Nothing is wasted, he redeems what was lost. When we're broken and shattered, he heals and restores. Nothing is wasted, by his grace we're made whole. You take the pieces of our past and save. Nothing is wasted, he redeems what was lost. When we're broken and shattered, he heals and restores. Nothing is wasted, by his grace we're made whole. You take the pieces of our past and say that nothing is wasted. Though the stories of our past leave us hopeless in despair, when we cannot find the answer, wondering if you're even there. Though your love still pursues us, even if we lose our way, it's the story of your goodness and the promise of your grace. Nothing is wasted, he redeems what was lost. When we're broken and shattered, he heals and restores. Nothing is wasted, by his grace we're made whole. You take the pieces of our past and say, nothing is wasted, he redeems what was lost. When we're broken and shattered, he heals and restores. Nothing is wasted, by his grace we're made whole. You take the pieces of our past and say, you take the pieces of our past and say that nothing is wasted.